Lech Wilczyński, the co-founder of InPay company. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Lech Wilczyński. Since 2014, since June of this year, we have been operating in cryptocurrency area, and we make it possible for Polish entrepreneurs and other foreign clients accept payments in bitcoins and also make settlements in this currency. Our idea at the beginning was that any companies that would like to use cryptocurrencies or bitcoins in their activities to attract customers or investors, and that at the same time do not face or minimize the risk related to rate of exchange, which happens very often in relation to other currencies. We were solving the problems for the moment of conducting the transactions. So at the moment of executing the transaction, while the rate of exchange was fixed, no further fees were charged. If our customer would like to make any type of digital transaction. And over time, it turned out that entrepreneurs, it's not entrepreneurs' expectation to just reevaluate or just change the currency over the moment of transaction. So many businesses and many transaction companies would like to accept the payments in Bitcoin and with time they resign from the exchange of the currency and just freezing it at the level of rate of exchange for the transaction moment. But as we could see, the price of Bitcoin has risen dynamically, so they noticed that they can make an additional profit when accepting transactions in Bitcoin. So our project was initiated due to these arguments. Virtual currency is okay, but where can I use it in practice? Where can I pay for any products or services? And our idea was that you could use Bitcoin anywhere. Well, we have reached this goal to some extent. If we just take a look at the scale of acceptance globally, we are talking about stationary providers of services or products like restaurants or shops. Over the last few years, it doesn't look very nice. Back in 2014, we had 3,000-4,000 of such points, and until now, I don't think that the number has risen dramatically, as you can see. What is the main reason? It turns out that the main functionalities or applications of cryptocurrencies are still present online only, and many companies, are using online services are using this. They would like to attract global customers who are able to make the payment from any place in the world. Well, they will not also charge huge fees like PayPal, for example. We also introduced the possibility of paying bills with bitcoins, which seems to be very attractive for our customers and is our main area of interest. And also the service which allows us to accept the payments in Bitcoin when a customer is using just traditional currencies. This service is really attractive, and companies companies with internet service, they prefer to accumulate and save bitcoins rather than receive their local currency. So this phenomenon is quite surprising even to us. Bitcoin at the moment, despite the fact that we see quite significant growth in the number of transactions, it's about 2,000–3,000 transactions made in Bitcoin. Now Bitcoin reaches, I guess, the upper, let's say, limits of its using, just implications for the users of Bitcoin is quite a drawback, because this using the transactional network, it takes time to just confirm the transactions. Sometimes they are not confirmed. Well, we take the risk, this risk on us, actually. We face this risk, and we guarantee that the transaction, whenever, it doesn't matter if it's confirmed or not, we just execute this transaction, and these are our costs of risk costs. So the number of transactions is growing, but it's been the network, Bitcoin network is criticized at the moment. It doesn't have any possibility to be calibrated, or they will not reach the power of a Visa. So we've got 4,000 transactions per minute, which is quite a funny limit. For the last 3–4 years, there are some works conducted. There have been some works connected, which are carried out, which are related to Lightning network, which is going to be another leap within the Bitcoin network. It will allow for just executing thousands of transactions per second with no additional costs. So we, as a company processing such transactions, are looking forward very much to this change, or this implementation of this technology called Lightning network. Well, I remember my first presentation back in 2013, maybe 14, and we're talking about this funny toy, which is called Bitcoin. It was something fascinating people. I just tried to encourage you to look into the future. Now, we are in the year 2017. The value, well, we know what it is. I would like us once again to take a look in the future. Let's look closer at the media messages. Bitcoin is not calibrating, the scalable, and it doesn't have much competition. But on the other hand, we still deal with the technology revolution. So we need to take this into consideration to be able to predict the value of Bitcoin in the future. What are the reasons? What are the factors which affected this value of Bitcoin? If we take a look at the actions undertaken by the central banks worldwide, like ECB or the Fed, if we even look at our M3, well, we mark here the year 2008. So if we look at M3 for Poland, it has grown 3 times, but for me it's actual inflation. I'm talking about the inflation as a growth of monetary supply. In order to visualize it, please take a look at M3 measured since 1990. Back in 2005, we had hyperinflation, which we may consider wasn't so showing this is not fair, but still it's just a factor. Our local currency was not able to provide stability to individuals trying to save or accumulate capital. Well, the inflation can be best observed, noticed, monitored on the art market. What do you remember the price of which this picture painting reached on the auction? $450 million. So it's quite symptomatic. It illustrates the current stages of inflation worldwide. This capital is running away somewhere, leaking somewhere. The capital is accumulated in cryptocurrencies. The main reason is the fear, which is a kind of a global fear, that the traditional money turns into just paper wall with time, we can say. So there are some drastic examples. We have seen them like dollar, Zimbabwe dollar, or at the moment Venezuelan bolivar, or a few other currencies in the world which are going through some dramatic hyperinflation, and well, they lose their value. We don't feel it. We don't feel the impact of this in our geographic region and in our economic system. We are regarded as a developed country, so the growth in production effectiveness can cover the inflation impact. Another element, with time, I also noticed some kind of trend, which quite recently is visible here locally, that we are interested in blockchain technology development, but cryptocurrencies is something that we wouldn't accept. So it's quite funny for me, as when we say so, it means that we don't have full understanding either of blockchain or cryptocurrencies. Well, we have to say it straightforwardly. Well, if we think, do you know what the function of blockchain is? What are the expectations of a blockchain? Why does blockchain offer any value for us? Well, because it offers undeniability. The data which is recorded cannot be changed. It's not, can be modified or manipulated, and these are the features that we want to reach in a blockchain. If somebody says that they will develop a blockchain for you, your personal blockchain, they just cheat you, they deceive. They are trying to sell you something like vaporware. They try to sell you this software which is using the hype in blockchain and sell you something which will not have these features any ever. So if we define a blockchain as a number of features that it has, and why are they so much related to cryptocurrencies? Because they are inseparable. If we try to separate them, if we try to develop private, personal blockchains, we are losing all the features that we expect. And if we consider blockchain, Bitcoin blockchain is one, it can be treated as an example of providing these features, mainly because people are motivated to develop this network, transactional network, to secure the network and to guarantee the features of the data which are recorded in these blockchains. I would encourage, anytime I'm talking about it, not to take a look at this feature from a distance, just read articles, monitor the market. Well, just get involved, just try using these cryptocurrencies, install wallets on your smartphone, try to test these currencies, try to use them, and just to figure out how it works. Back in 2013, the people who are attending the conference, if they had done it back in 2013, today they would be quite happy. Now we are moving into this quite unpleasant stage, and then I would like to give my a few remarks, share a few remarks of the future and my expectation. Many users are just looking at the market from the speculative perspective. From my perspective, however, I have been repeatedly saying that as for technology, I'm very optimistic. The technology will be developing, and as we can see, it's developing very dynamically. We can expect attractive, interesting solutions. But as far as regulatory aspect is concerned, or some constraints or some limitations which are going to be developed, well, I'm pessimistic. They will appear. Well, we can expect so-called correction or some constraints aimed at the companies which globally deal with cryptocurrency transactions. So we can expect such a clash, as we can say. But on the other hand, cryptocurrencies offer some financial motivations. On the one hand, we've got this aspect of currency competitiveness. So the traditional, the cryptocurrencies, digital currencies try to somehow undermine, let's say, the traditional currencies, but the same institutions, big corporations, notice and see, do not overlook the opportunities that cryptocurrencies offer. So I guess we will see the kind of fight of powers, greed on the one hand, and on the other hand, to the willingness to stop or to slow down these technologies. So we can expect quite an interesting and fascinating future. And in my opinion, similar to a few years ago, I thought that I'm crazy, I was crazy just to popularize this technology, but I still, well, you can still perceive me as a crazy person. For example, I think that central banks should have built reserves in cryptocurrencies in order to paradoxically provide stability, financial stability. It's still perceived as crazy, but I guess in a few years you will see that I was right. Thank you very much for your attention. Maybe you've got some questions.